gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Tonight we're monitoring triple-digit heat across inland Southern California, a fast-moving brush fire that forced a 5-freeway closure near Gorman, and county health officials warning swimmers to avoid several beaches due to unsafe water. Traffic remains heavy with a 405 construction ongoing. Over to you, Bennett.
Saturday night, the Hollywood Bowl hosts the Christian Name Tour, presenting Megan Marney, Ole 60 accompanied by the Stews, and Charles Wesley Godwin for a blended country folk concert.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at noon through the venue's website, with general admission priced at $25 and reserved seating at $45.
The concert supports the Los Angeles Youth Music Initiative, donating a portion of each ticket sale to provide instruments and lessons for underserved schools in the city.
We've got a vibrant weekend ahead with music filling the air, so let's jump right into today's news together now. Here are our top stories. Triple-digit heat returns this weekend as forecasts show inland Los Angeles and West Hollywood soaring to 100 degrees, extending a prolonged hot spell across the region. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Saturday's forecast is pushing inland neighborhoods into an extreme heat wave, with temperatures climbing well into the 100-degree range. The National Weather Service issued the advisory for inland Southern California, noting that Saturday, August 8, 2026 will be the hottest day of the week. In Los Angeles and West Hollywood, readings are already hovering around 95 degrees, and meteorologists expect the mercury to break the 100-degree mark by midday. The heat index is projected to linger between 90 and 100 degrees through the afternoon, extending the long-running spell of blistering weather that has gripped the region for weeks. Residents are seeing the same sweltering conditions that have persisted since early summer, and the forecast shows little relief before the weekend ends. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, West Hollywood.
At California State University, Los Angeles dormitory occupancy remains strikingly low even as the campus confronts a documented shortage of roughly 500 beds. Administrators report that a significant portion of existing rooms sit empty, a paradox that deepens the broader housing crunch faced by students citywide. The university's 2025 housing plan had projected the need for additional beds, yet current utilization rates fall well below expectations. Student groups have voiced frustration, noting that the lack of occupied space hampers community building and increases pressure on off-campus rentals. Officials say they are reviewing allocation policies and exploring short-term measures to boost occupancy while the longer-range expansion plan moves forward. The situation underscores a mismatch between projected demand and actual use at the Los Angeles campus, prompting calls for immediate attention.
County health officials are warning that ocean water at several Los Angeles County beaches is unsafe for swimming. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health says recent testing showed bacteria levels well above state standards, prompting an advisory to stay out of the water. Beaches named in the alert include Ramirez Creek at Paradise, along with other popular spots along the shoreline. Officials stress the risk as the region battles a lingering heat wave, with many residents seeking relief in the surf. They advise anyone at the beach to keep a safe distance from the water and to follow posted signage. The health department will continue sampling throughout the week and will update the advisory as results come in. Swimmers are urged to watch local alerts and consider alternative ways to stay cool until conditions improve.
Los Angeles Unified School District has approved district-wide limits on student screen time, mandating reduced device usage across all schools. The new policy takes effect this summer. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Los Angeles Unified School District officials have just approved a district-wide policy that caps the amount of time students can spend on digital devices during school hours. The new rules limit screen exposure to a maximum of 30 minutes per class period and require teachers to rotate between analog and electronic activities. Administrators say the measures aim to reduce eye strain and keep attention focused on core lessons. Schools across the district will begin rolling out the guidelines next month, with principals tasked with tracking usage and reporting compliance to the central office. Parents will receive informational packets outlining the changes, while district staff will conduct brief training sessions for teachers before implementation. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Koreatown.
The Los Angeles County Natural History Museum unveiled a new biolibrary today, a living collection of California tide pool organisms that scientists will use to track climate change impacts. Researchers are carefully gathering specimens from vulnerable tide pools along the coast, preserving them in controlled tanks that mimic natural conditions. By maintaining a reference baseline, the museum hopes to detect subtle shifts in species health as ocean temperatures rise and sea levels climb. Curators say the initiative fills a gap in long-term monitoring, offering a tangible way to study how warming waters affect fragile intertidal life. The project also provides a training resource for students and a public showcase of the region's marine biodiversity. Museum officials expect the biolibrary to grow over the coming years, expanding both the number of species and the data needed to understand a changing coastline. Later, a brush fire forces 5 freeway closure and evacuations in Gorman, plus more on the soaring heat. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Fire crews are battling a fast-moving brush fire that erupted early this morning near the Los Angeles County-Kern County line at Gorman. The blaze forced the closure of California State Route 5 and prompted mandatory evacuations for residents in the immediate vicinity. Authorities have issued evacuation warnings for several nearby mobile home parks and warned motorists to seek alternate routes as the fire continues to spread across dry chaparral. Officials say the dry season conditions are fueling the inferno, which remains active and is being contained through aerial drops and ground crews. The closure of the 5-mile stretch of the freeway is expected to last until containment improves, and traffic officials are directing drivers to use the nearby state routes 2 and 14. Residents are urged to stay tuned for updates as the situation develops.
A vehicle collided with a Glendale preschool classroom Friday night, leaving 8 children injured as police and emergency crews responded. Noel Kirkpatrick has the full story.
At about 11:36 p.m. Friday night, a sedan slammed into the front door of a Glendale preschool, sending the classroom's windows shattering and sending children scrambling. Emergency crews arrived within minutes, clearing the wreckage and tending to the injured. Police confirmed that 8 youngsters sustained injuries ranging from cuts to bruises and were promptly transported to nearby hospitals for evaluation. Teachers helped calm the remaining students, while paramedics set up a triage area in the hallway. Investigators are now examining the scene to determine how the vehicle entered the school grounds. The preschool remains closed for the night, as families gather outside awaiting updates. Noel Kirkpatrick, GMNA News, Glendale.
The U.S. District Court for the Central District of California will block a Trump administration effort to divert federal homelessness assistance away from Housing First programs. A ruling expected later today in Los Angeles will invalidate the Department of Housing and Urban Development's proposal to shift billions of dollars toward alternative strategies. The court's decision comes after the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority sued, arguing the reallocation would undermine proven Housing First models that place people directly into permanent homes. Officials said the order preserves existing funding streams for rapid rehousing and supportive services across the region. Legal analysts note the case fits into a wider national dispute over how federal aid should be targeted, a battle that could shape the city's approach to ending chronic homelessness for years to come. The decision also signals a potential shift in future policy debates at both federal and local levels.
State auditors said the Inglewood Unified School District is on track to finish the first of a 2-phase state control plan by next year. The district, which has been under state oversight for several years, will move out of the initial phase in 2027, according to the audit report released this week. Officials highlighted that the district has met key performance benchmarks, including improved graduation rates and stronger fiscal management, which gave the auditors confidence in the upcoming transition. Education leaders in Inglewood said they will continue working on the second phase, which focuses on expanding curriculum options and restoring full local governance. The state agency will monitor progress and issue a final recommendation before the district regains complete control. Parents and teachers expect the shift to bring more local input into school policies and resource allocation.
A bomb threat was reported at Huntington Hospital in Pasadena, prompting a substantial law enforcement presence this morning. The investigation remains ongoing as authorities work to secure the facility. Camila Uriola has the full story.
Police have cordoned off the main entrance of Huntington Hospital, here in Pasadena, after a bomb threat was reported early Friday morning. Officers in tactical gear and several squad cars are stationed outside, while a bomb squad unit has set up a command post in the parking lot. Hospital staff have been instructed to evacuate non-critical patients and move critical care areas to a secure wing. The threat, traced to an extremist group, prompted a coordinated response from local, state, and federal agencies, though no device has been found. Ambulances continue to transport patients to nearby facilities as the investigation unfolds. The hospital remains on lockdown pending clearance. Camila Uriola, GMNA News, Pasadena.
Now let's check the evening forecast and see how that triple-digit heat will affect your night.
A building high-pressure ridge and a gentle southerly jet are locking down a clear, scorching evening. On this date, the city reached a record high of 91 degrees in 2022, a peak that arrived during a late summer heat wave that pushed inland valleys above 100 degrees. The record low of 54 degrees fell in 2015, an outlier cold snap that followed a rare Pacific trough. By contrast, the August normal hovers around 84 degrees for the high and 66 for the low, so today's temperatures sit squarely between the historic extremes. The live radar screen is completely blank, confirming no precipitation across the basin. A high-pressure dome overhead is suppressing ascent, while the weak southerly jet at the 500 HPA level is steering any moisture far to the east. With the atmosphere stable and dry, there is no rain to track, allowing us to pivot straight to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits at 86 degrees under a cloudless sky, humidity 39%, and a light southwest wind of 7 miles per hour. A high-pressure ridge is strengthening, bringing rising pressure that will keep conditions dry through the night. The shallow southerly jet, moving at roughly 17 miles per hour, reinforces the warm air advection that set today's high at 91 degrees. The UV index remains at 9, and wind gusts may peak at 12 miles per hour from the southwest. No weather alerts are active. Expect temperatures to dip to 66 after sunset, with clear skies persisting into the early morning. Saturday continues the ridge's grip, delivering a high near 90 degrees and a low in the mid-60s, all under clear skies. Sunday spikes to a scorching 97 degrees, the highest of the week, while lows stay comfortable at 64. Monday eases slightly to 93 with a low of 70, and Tuesday mirrors Monday with 91 and a low of 70. Wednesday rounds out the stretch at 90 degrees high and a low in the high 60s, with only a hint of cloud cover. The persistent ridge ensures dry, warm conditions throughout, punctuated by modest nighttime cooling each day. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic snarls on the 405, a preview of Megan Moroney tonight, and the Seahawks rookie's bold comments. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
One fatal wrong-way collision on the 405 freeway in Inglewood has forced a closure, while crews investigate a suspected ordnance find. Eastbound traffic on the 405 through the Sepulveda Pass is halted, with drivers rerouted onto the 625. A deadly crash on the 10 freeway in Palms has shut all eastbound lanes, spilling back up onto surface streets. In Fullerton, a northbound collision on the 57 freeway has reduced traffic to a single lane, extending delays through the afternoon. The 201 freeway in Tarzana is blocked by a semi-truck pileup, diverting westbound flow onto the 101 south. On the 110 freeway in Carson, a Caltrans truck burst into flames, closing the southbound carriageway. Metro riders, the C line is bypassing Hawthorne-Lenox with shuttle service, and Line 40 buses are detoured around police activity until about 1 p.m. Expect lingering congestion on the 405, 10, 57 and 201 corridors through the evening.
Rufus Du Sol is lighting up the Kia Forum tonight with their North America 2026 tour, delivering the kind of pulsing electronic soundscape that turns a summer evening into a full-body experience. Their setlist blends fresh tracks with beloved hits, so both newcomers and longtime fans will find a moment to lose themselves. If you prefer a little Mediterranean flair, the Gypsy Kings featuring Nicholas Reyes take the stage at the Greek Theatre, bringing flamenco-driven rhythms that make every sunset feel like a fiesta. The open-air venue lets the guitars echo across the hills, perfect for a night of dancing with friends. For a free, all-ages vibe, head to Music Center's Jerry Moss Plaza at 7 p.m. for Dance DTLA's evening Afrobeats party. No cover, just a chance to move under the stars. And looking ahead, tomorrow night the Hollywood Bowl opens its gates for Ed Sheeran, so you can catch his new songs beside the hillside backdrop. And now here's Terrence with sports.
Rivalries heat up, drafts stir, and rosters reshape across LA's sports scene. Seattle rookie safety Bud Clark wasted no time declaring his disdain for the Rams and 49ers, even before stepping onto an NFL field. His vocal edge could fire up the secondary's chemistry, but coaches will temper the hype as he learns the pro grind. Watch his snap reads this preseason. Dallas isn't keen to cut ties with veteran sharpshooter Klay Thompson, despite simmering interest from Los Angeles and Miami. The Mavericks, resistance signals they still value his floor spacing and locker room leadership, while the Lakers and Heat weigh the cost of a late-season boost. Keep an eye on trade chatter through the summer. Los Angeles chose quarterback Ty Simpson in the draft, passing on a buzzed about edge rusher named Ruben Bain. Bain's strong camp showing fuels debate that the Rams may have missed a high-upside pass rusher. Fans should monitor his preseason snaps as the depth chart solidifies. The Dodgers have slipped into what fans dub the summer swoon, a stretch of losses that now stretches toward the midway point of the season. With Kyle Tucker's hustle on the bases a bright spot, the club must spark its offense and tighten defense to halt the skid. Veteran big man Kevon Looney arrives in Los Angeles with a chip on his shoulder, promising to inject championship grit into a Lakers roster already brimming with talent. His experience on winning squads could mentor the young frontcourt, while his defensive instincts add depth as the season ramps up. Pass rusher Chili Tuipulotu finally broke out of his individual drill routine, taking the field in full pads and making impactful plays for the Chargers. His emergence adds a fresh edge to a rotation that struggled early and could force a reevaluation of the defensive line hierarchy as the campaign unfolds.
K2 Space in Hawthorne just closed a $500 million funding round, a milestone that could reshape the city's tech landscape. The defense intelligence startup, founded by a team of former aerospace engineers, is using the capital to fast-track next-generation AI-driven satellite analytics and hypersonic propulsion prototypes. With the new money, they'll expand their lab, hire more local talent, and partner with nearby universities, turning Hawthorne into a hub for cutting-edge defense research. It's a clear signal that Los Angeles is no longer just a Hollywood story, it's becoming a launchpad for the nation's most critical technologies. For a city that thrives on innovation, K2 Space's growth means more high-paying jobs and a stronger voice for Southern California in the global aerospace arena. Coming up, Caltrans extends the PCH and Topanga Canyon lane closures as fire crews work on recovery. More details after this break. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. A state judge has dismissed a legal challenge to the Attorney General's description of the strict voter ID measure set for the November ballot, clearing the way for the measure's final language. Wesley Tran has the full story.
The courtroom doors closed today as a state judge threw out a lawsuit aimed at the Attorney General's office description of California's new voter identification measure. Plaintiffs had argued the summary misled voters about the strict ID requirements set for the upcoming November ballot, but the judge said the agency's wording met legal standards. The ruling came on Saturday, August 6th, with Justice Maria Delgado noting the AG's office complied with statutory requirements for ballot information. The measure, already signed into law, will require voters to present government-issued photo ID at the polls, a change that has sparked debate across the state. With the challenge dismissed, the description will remain on the official voter guide as the election approaches. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
Caltrans will extend overnight and daytime lane closures on Pacific Coast Highway between Temescal Canyon Road and Carbon Beach Terrace, as well as Topanga Canyon Boulevard, for Palisades fire recovery work. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Caltrans and utility crews have prolonged both overnight and daytime lane closures on the Pacific Coast Highway and on Topanga Canyon Boulevard while they finish cleanup and repairs from the recent Palisades fire. The highway shutdown runs from Temescal Canyon Road in Pacific Palisades down to Carbon Beach Terrace in Malibu, and the Canyon Road remains blocked as crews work through the damage. The extended closures are scheduled to last from August 10th through August 16th, 2026, giving crews time to clear fallen trees, remove debris, and mend burned pavement. Motorists are being urged to seek alternate routes as the work continues throughout the week. Local residents have reported increased traffic on nearby streets as drivers detour around the closures. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Pacific Palisades.
Thank you, Los Angeles, for joining us tonight. From the inspiring launch of the new biolibrary at the museum, preserving our tide pool treasures, to the important updates across the city, we appreciate your attention and keep you informed. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you.